AWP. Shiro charging in with a Galil. Gets the kill in play for players. And Sensei now blinded, forced away from the angle.
Looks like they want to condition this A site early. 2 consecutive rounds. Spotted on the jump right there is Sensei's scout. He does get another tag on a Hobbit. Make it a follow-up. Hobbit goes down, so a number drawn back here for Sangal.
Is there anything else left in the tank? Oh, pick up for Sensei. Shot does land, but no kill.
3 players are low, but oof, Axel's just walked into B here. The timing on this, the shot onto QB, and that's going to be the site given on over. The rotation can come back through, or they can just let Tugux, the coach of this one, having to stand on in, rotate out of play, out of position. The A bomb site has been given up and can't land the shots. Axel will take that one down, and Hobbit would be the only one to fall into the grave in round number 2. Now it'll be an eco coming in from Sangal. And if you're watching at home and you want to get involved in the social medias, maybe let us know how you're watching. Send us a bit of a tweet. It's the hashtag PGL RMR. We're going to be in Antwerp in a couple of weeks' time for the major. Did that B-Stream game end up finishing yet?
I think it's still going on, Chad. It looked like Sinners extended into the lead there on Vertigo.
Sinners won.
They've won the map now.
Another upset.
Okay. 16-11 win for the Sinners. Now that was definitely a more contested matchup, I would say.
These 1-0 matches are going to be crazy.
We're going to have stacked games, right? It's in the losers' games, man. They're going to be incredibly filled up. For players, I mean, this is actually a little bit of sweat off their brow, right? Because look at the matchup they got in front of them. There should be players cleaning this up. When you look at the likes of G2 going down early today, that's going to fill you with a bit of happiness, I think.
And now, like when we do talk about this in serious nature, right? The fact that we have had Entropic lose and G2 lose in the opening games, both of those teams would have been in conversation to potentially snatch up a 3-0 scoreline. Not possible anymore. They have to now, you know, at least battle back in the best of ones, get themselves in 1-1. The best they can do is a 3-1. So legend spots are going to be few and far between here. The only favorite teams who have kept themselves in contention for that so far, well, is NIP. Let's see if players, Astralis, Copenhagen, Flames, and I think Ents are favored over the side of Spirit. It's a new look Spirit roster as well.
Axel and Inters work in tandem to bring down the pistols. Nice and clean here for players as they go 3-0. For Sangal, it's a bye coming up. The first time we get to see them with a bye. We'll see what their CT side looks like. Sensei bringing out the AWP.
Well, this is where the real conversation begins, okay? Because if we've got 3 kills in 3 rounds. That's it for Sangal so far. From the CT side, they're able to at least go toe-to-toe and not just going to get owned by players who can, when they want, turn it up a gear and just show that they are individually very, very skilled. They don't always have to do it by the book. I think we saw that towards the tail end of the EPL groups from them.
There it goes in for Corey. Hobbit takes the brunt of it. In fact, Hobbit burns down. So the advantage picked up here for Sangal. Players accelerating. This is a quick look to the players. And it overwhelms Sensei. He's caught in the open, hung out to dry. They are going to keep applying pressure. Utility is immediately coming out of their hands. Just bombarding this A site with nades and now looking to try and crack open the remaining players that stand and defend. Corey getting checked in the gap. He thought he had the advantage there. I did too, but Axel and Nafany, they think better of it. And they've brought down every single player so far that they've seen. Smoke goes in again. QB held behind it. Oh, takes a little bit of chip damage as well. This is looking very good for the players so far.
Might just be one body hitting the deck again here. That nade, not bad. Axel down to 20 points of health, but save is on the cards. And I don't think Shiro wants to allow this. Look at this. He's already cutting off rotations. If they do want to drop all the way back towards T-spawn, a position that they might think is a safe haven right now, they will have to go past the AWP. And this is where the problems have already started to come into fruition. You get that opening kill through the utility, and then you can't stop the bullets. They just keep on flying by. QB and Tugux trying to hold on to these M4s. Now, Shiro isn't going to push past the post here. He has the AWP. He doesn't want to give this one over. He's not going to give that up for free whatsoever. So, will be 2 players staying alive. And a 4-0 scoreline now for the players.
It's a good song by the Bee Gees.
Staying alive.
It's actually, if you ever have to do CPR, do it to the rhythm of that. That's a cool fact, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the chest compression tempo. I think it's 60 BPM. Not sure. There you go. Hopefully that helps someone. Sangal, 0 rounds yet to be posted. 2 players, rifles, pistols out across the board. And, yeah, I mean, we're talking about this matchup. It's one that needs to be played, but players I love how we're seeing them approach this, right? They're just immediately running up through patterns, just not really slowing down, just trying to get through it, chopping down the defense as they go. And Sangol are going to have to deal with a different pace change that we're not really used to seeing from players. It's a different, confident, and a clinical look from the players' side so far, and if that continues, that's exciting to watch.
It's a whole different caliber of teams here, isn't it? So I want to just have a look through players' history of matches, see if I can find that game I was talking about where they did just turn it into a bit of an aim map.
Haven't seen too much of Sangol. I think Corey in particular is the one player I've seen a little bit of, but the rest of the team, you don't really see this team often at all, Chad. And I think that's kind of the beauty of the RMR and the major system. It truly is a global event, right? You get teams from all over. We even had teams from Siberia coming in the other day in Group A of Europe. So yeah, we've had a fair share of nationalities shown across the board.
Yeah, their wins to get here, they beat Tricked, right? I think that was one of their bigger victories to get them into the major. That was in the best of threes, right? So it was the quarterfinal winner qualifiers for the RMRs. And the loser went down to the 5th place decider. Now, beating Tricked, right? Tricked is a name that we know tends to house a lot of talent over there within Denmark. We've gone 1 for 1 here. Jogos is going to get himself a frag on the board. But it's maybe some lesser known names, because this Tricked roster was Prime, Iceberg, Larson, Quez, and here. So that was the team that they had to beat to get themselves to this point.
It's never easy to put away Danish players. So, team they have to put away in front of them. Now the team battering them and bullying them a little bit at the moment as players. Sensei, good kill there on the way out the door. He might actually find a better weapon to get out of this round with, and he will. AK, so it's not too bad at all. An AK into the next round, you will take that. Another one, an M4 picked up, and a kit on the way out here. So not too bad at all. 5-0 start, though, for players. They are going to need to see a great bit of resistance coming up for Sangol in this round. Otherwise, we are starting to see that story we expect to pan out unfold before our eyes.
Yeah, I think at least this is positive signs for players here. This was a similar conversation we've been having with a lot of the favorites. A few of them have tripped up. A few of them have allowed closer matches. A few of them have lost some matches. But you want to make sure that you can get through these type of environments as easy as possible. You want to make sure that you don't have to play extra best of threes. You don't get in those stressful situations like Outsiders were in yesterday, because I think in games like that, Outsiders are taking a couple years off their life when they do that time and time again. But this is a good showing so far, and they're setting up the quad boost here to get the little pick over towards heaven. Shiro, the last man, the last piece of the puzzle with that AWP, up and over, and hoping to find them on the jump before the train ticket gets punched. And well, they're going to set up the triple boost. Now, this will be... will he catch the barrel? No, it looks good in the hood.
Yeah, lucky that. They dismount the boost. And a bit of a quieter round for players as the slow start will now fizzle out. Start to stack their forces over towards the B side of things. And luckily for Sangol, this is the side of the map they've got pretty much everybody, and they're holding this triple boost. They're really holding it until decided players walk into them.
Yeah, a bit of cheese here. But the problem is if they just walk through Monster and then they rip the head off of Sensei, then the three of them are going to be condemned there over towards Graffiti. So Sensei has to deliver something here.
Needs at least one, but look at the flash. It's so good and allows players all the ground, forces the AWP back into the water, and Axel removes his life. Shiro. Oh, they've seen so much here. They've just absolutely seen everything they need to, and all the kills have come in. It's, I mean, this defense doesn't really hold water. It's a flood of players coming through, and now it's Barbecue QB. He's out. So Corey, he's on the other side of the map, and even he looks like he's about to go down because Hobbit is quickly trying to find him. And, oh, nasty Hobbit goes down.
7 points of health remaining. Noted, but the hunt is already coming. You can see these little orange dots quickly surging their way up connector. Shiro trying to cut him off at the pass, but Shiro might be the one to go down in the back line here. Corey tucked on in up towards the tree position. And, well, I think they are going to sniff him out here. Shiro sees the barrel and gets the kill with the Glock. So all good. Everybody from Sangol there wiped on out. 6-0 is the score. And I think the players are just going to run away with this one. Look at this. Just getting absolutely cooked over here. This is what I was saying. If Sensei goes down, he just got flashed. And then, look at all the nades, the flames, the flashes, everything dropping. QB, no way out, no way forward.
No problem here. for the players so far, and it looks like a quicker play again coming in towards the B side of things. Sangol continue to have rifles in their hands, but it's fast. It's very fast here for players, and Nafny, he actually gets stopped. QB brings him down, so Nafny out, and that has actually stifled the play of players. They've decided, okay, we'll respect this B setup. We'll drop back into water instead, and might have a different reaction about them here.
The first time they've kind of had to change their approach.
Yeah, everything else is you just hold W and kind of walk wherever you want.
Yeah, when Hobbit went down in that earlier piece towards A, they still continued forward towards the site and had no dramas, no qualms whatsoever. But now, this one has been stalled out. Hello. Hello. I see an awful lot there, says Inter. Scrunk, dead meat, and 4-on-4 now established here.
Inter's yet to die, 7-0.
The Immortal.
Inter's the Immortal. I like that. Sounds like a gladiator name or something. Here they come. Straight through Monster. They're going to send 2 players out there. Sure, will clear out the barrels. Just being methodical with utility again, but Sensei, oh man, he's just getting flashed every single time. He's not really getting an opportunity to get away with a pick here. And that allows players onto the site to put the bomb down. 4v4. A chance still exists here for Sangol. Chuguk's forced forward by the molly. They're not watching for it. And he actually gets away with a chance. Oh, nearly doubles up. Chuguk goes down. 3v3. Or he comes back to help from heaven. Flash, ooh, could set up the peak in towards Inters. They're not close enough to really capitalize upon that. So now just into the site. Time's ticking. Way over half now as players just hold. They've got such a good setup in the post plan that every fight can find an answer. Corey just dancing with death goes down to Hobbit. 7-0. There's a couple of funny talking points here with player names. You know, we talk about the lack of originality, Chad, with players. We have Nickelback plays for Entropic. Maui Snake was giving a little bit of tidbit out today. He's obviously over there enjoying his time talking to all the players. And a big question is always, does Nickelback actually like the band? He says he hates the band, and so therefore hates his own name. So sad for Nickelback.
Well, I can always change his name, I guess.
Yeah.
Or maybe you could find an appreciation for the music.
Yeah, just kind of force yourself to like Nickelback. You like Nickelback, Chad?
I can't even name your Nickelback song, but we're running into B, and this one here might be quick as well. Just these pistols over towards the pit, getting run on down. Nafny fast as you like. There's a few more to find. He's through. He's in the face. Scrunk gets something back, but they know that there's 2 more in there. Underarm of the nade. Some bowling coming out here from Hobbit.
And the 10 pins, or 5, really are Sangol. Might be a strike for the side of players here. 8 rounds in a row for players. Keeping it nice and clean, keeping it nice and clinical, and this is what you want to see from the players. Now, we talked about teams coming into this, maybe dropping the ball. Yeah, they haven't done that at all yet.
Don't think they're going to. This is already the half one. It is the T side of Overpass. It can be a difficult map to call on, but this is not the case whatsoever. You said Inters was 7-0 before. He's 9-0 now. Just going to keep on going.
Unreasonable, really.
Yeah.
For Sangol, I mean, if you are just tuning in and wondering, who these guys are, they had to come through a weaker qualifier. They're going up against one of the best teams in the world. They're going to have better opportunities, perhaps. And the boost works out for Shiro. So they've done this a few times. I think that was the 3rd time they've run it. And finally, they get something from it. Corey tries to pull back some control, ends up just walking into Hobbit's crosshair. And players now with a 2-man advantage.
This is the level of class you'd be expecting from a lot of the top teams, right? But you haven't gotten it from all the top teams. So it is nice to see. It's just hard to get excited about this when the game is already over. The scoreline is about to be 9-0. It's just... it doesn't even need to be... I don't know how to highlight it any more so than the gameplay in front of you here, right? If they had their full 5, there would be such a better opportunity to have a conversation about an upset. But when you have your coach standing in, what are you meant to do as your coach, right? Like, there's a lot of coaches who aren't super active in terms of playing, and even if they are or once were, right, you're not going to be, you shouldn't be at the level of a player who is contending.
It's worrying if you are.
Exactly, right? Maybe then you should still be in the server. So it's so hard to have any expectations for this. And the first 9 rounds of play, I know that it only says 8 on the board, but this one is already done. It is a 5-on-2. Doesn't fill you with any hope for anything. And I don't want you to say it, Dinko. I know you're thinking it, and I know the viewers at home are thinking it, but I don't want any of you to type it in chat. I don't want you to say it, Dinko, until it's done. Nobody say it. If anybody says it, you'll ruin it. It's like a birthday wish.
My lips are zipped closed when it comes to that one phrase, Chad.
Nobody say it.
Can I talk about Inters?
You can talk about Inters.
Yeah, he hasn't died yet. Yep, got that little bit of power out the way. Chugux, he's actually up there on the top of the board now with his kill count. There we go. Had a little trip over to see where the players were, what life they were living yesterday, Chad.
Pretty bougie, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty bougie, living the life over there.
Getting looked out in that 5-star hotel.
They have a Louis Vuitton store in the hotel. Now, I've never seen that before.
Hopefully they're focusing on playing and not shopping.
I'm sure. I mean, not much going on here for the players. Just nice little black shirts. I actually quite like that jersey. It's quite nice. There's nothing going on. It's clean. It's simple. Just like the Counter-Strike they're playing right now. And Sangol, I think at this point, are just discussing how do we get a couple rounds? How do we compete? How do we get into this? A timeout. You don't want to get blown out of the water, right? You want to try and show something. You're capable Counter-Strike players. You've shown that before. And this would be a real shame if this is the way it continues. So they would love to try and get a few rounds, get a bit of a foothold into this, get a touch of the ball here when they come to land, not go down completely to players. But systematic destruction at the moment. Just very clean stuff from the players. If you had to make a team name now, Chad, what would you call your team?
Not players. I like Scrawny's suggestion with the outsiders name of Overtimers.
That's a good one.
I think that's a great suggestion from Connor on that one. I don't know. I would like. I've seen a lot of good suggestions on Reddit and HLTV for people thinking of names for players, like Hobbit and the Fellowship of the Ring.
I love that one.
So they could do a lot with that there. I think I liked Nafany's Anime Squad. I thought that was a good one right there. I thought that could have been a bit of fun. But yeah, just a P.
The logo's kind of cool though.
I think I heard that they wanted to go by youngsters, but
yeah, I heard that one too. So that would have been cool.
Yeah, maybe a little bit close to home. I think with that one.
They're too old now.
Yeah. Oh, look. You can only be young for so long.
Alright, Chugux. Johnny's got a bit of the D. And that's about it. So it gets taken down through the wall. Corey in the house. You watch that show, Chad? Corey in the house? Was that a thing you watched?
I think I was a little bit old.
Probably.
Yeah, I think that's definitely not of my generation.
Well, that's a bit unfortunate.
Will Inters die? That's the question here on everybody's lips.
They've got max money now too, so there's a lot going on. Inter's 49 HP, close to death. Imagine going clean without dying in the game. Now that would be interesting.
We've had that conversation a couple times in recent history, I think, but then every time we talk about it, they tend to die in a round or two after. Now, Inters, we've mentioned it 4 or 5 rounds consecutively here, and he hasn't gone down. So
he's got the power.
Yeah, and he was, you know, because he's throwing a few more flashes, he's doing a bit more of the supportive business there. He is avoiding a lot of the early flak.
Yeah, by the time he gets in, everybody's basically dead already, so it's kind of helping him out a bit here. Buy again for Sangol. That's good. They got it picked up. And good amount of utility. Man, let's just see something wild. If I'm Sangol here, I just rush somewhere. I just play the most frustrating style. Just commit, try and force some awkward fights, do a lot of gimmicky stuff. Just figure out, can you get into the round at all?
Now, if you want to check out what's going on in the secondary stream, guys. Oh, here we go. Hold up a second. Not looking. And dead. Another opener. ASG versus Australis is live on Ancient. And if you're not familiar with some of the players over there on ASG, Waterballs and Sviat are the two names that you may have seen. Now, some kills back.
Oh, chance here. Shiro fends off his teammates. Inters was about to go down there, but Shiro makes sure that he stays immortal. Chugux now the only player left, and he's coming back through mid. He's got a weapon somewhere. He's got an AK on his back here. He's just going to save it. Yeah, I mean, all up there as well. So he's got the pickings, the spoils of war, but that was somewhat competitive in the mid-round. Nearly gets a couple of kills there, Chad. So it's a small positive. But I think at least they'll have time for lunch soon.
What's the time? It's almost 3 p.m. local here. So maybe a bit of a late lunch situation going on.
Maybe some dinner. Get to bed early, prep for your next game. I mean, we do. We will see Sangol compete more, obviously, with the Swiss system. The low seeds will play against the high seeds in the opening game, and you will get blowouts. It just happens, and this is how it should happen. And this is what we kind of want to see happen as well, in terms of we want to see players show a good face, and you don't want to see the better teams drop the ball. So, good start. This is what should happen. But Sangol, if you're a fan of this team and you're a fan of these players, obviously you're going to be a bit frustrated with the fact that you don't have your full roster out there, but they will have opportunities in some of the weaker games to play against some of the smaller teams. So we'll compete. And this was that chance to take down Inters. they didn't quite get it done. So Buy is consistent here with the lost bonus, the save weapons, they keep carrying over. And eventually, hopefully, they can do something about it. But quick play here for players through Monster. It's called a rush B. It's Chugux running in. The barrel swing out, coming through for Chugux. He gets cleared out by Nafany. And QB back into reply.
Oh, here we go.
This is starting to look
a man advantage here.
Yeah, looking good. Sangal have the advantage. Can they close it? Inters was about to have a fight and then peeled away just as the peak was about to come around.
Okay, well, they should lock this one down, surely. They've got 2 players on the B bomb site, the third up towards the heaven with the AWP, and the rotation back available from A at any given moment here, but stalling this out, starting to take some time off the clock. They're actually starting to play a bit more of a retake setup on this B bomb site, so Inters might get a little bit of room to work with here. They've had very well-placed flashes. The util on Shiro is what is going to be used to enable them, and, well, don't worry, it's not on Shiro anymore. He's actually going to throw that across to Axar, who's now been given the bag. In comes Inters, taking the space. The smoke towards heaven, the flash coming through.
Inters swings into the side, no one yet spotted. Commitment to the bomb plant, quite a passive setup, buying some time for the rotation to come down so they have significant numbers for the attempt. And Axel goes over the top. It's just one for Axel. Scrum gets rid of him. Inters playing in and around the smoke, and he's finally died. The first death here for Inters.
Should be the round 2 here.
Perhaps the first round. Shiro left in the clutch. Now, he is the clutch king.
It's an AWP though, and they have a kit.
And yeah, that's the problem. They tap, they stick, they hold, they body block, they want the round, and they've got it. They survived the 16-0. I can say it now, Chad. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, you can see them celebrating about that as well. So it's great not to get pants here. You never want a copper 16-0 loss, and that has now been avoided. So really good stuff here to get on the board and converting a number advantage situation. The first round, does look like Sangal can win, they win. So that's really good. They're going to bring out the double AWP setup. Skrunk's going to be into one along Sensei. And let's see, have they just enraged the beast? Have they just upset players now by winning a single round and now we just go back to the stomp? Or do we actually get a bit more of a competitive tail end of half number 1?
Well, desolation of Smaug, they wake up the dragon, and the Hobbit wins. So, Chad, that's how that story goes. But we got a quick play here forward from Axel. Up through short, he now peeks down into short, and Skrunk, good opening.
Oh, here we go, starting to get a bit of traction in this now. Still an 11-4 half possible here. Switch little nade lobbed on out. That's going to at least try and repel Skrunk from any more information. But he's got a teammate, he's got a buddy. They're happy to hang around there. Happy to stay in limbo here towards this sandbag position. Creeping up long is Hobbit. And those bullets are definitely going to give away that players are still residing in this a bit more upfront and personal scenario on B. Right-hand side of Monster, you can see here. Tugux is sitting and waiting. But regrouping now are players over towards the B bomb site. At least the bomb on the back of Shiro is now going to join the side of Nafany. Do they want to try and activate Hobbit here? Because he will have to go around that long corner to deal with Corey.
Well, Nafany goes through, and the setup is great there. Chugux passes the test of flying colors, and players down to 3 players across the board. Hobbit able to pull one back. Not lost out, but they're so separated, and Hobbit gets caught with utility. So they're split up here. They're not playing as the team, and that is giving chances to Sangal to win these individual fights.
Well, back towards A they go. Just know that's the AWP on site, so if they're able to slip his guys and get their way up close and personal, Inters could rip this one away. Shiro can then follow through with some nades, but they have to be quick. 20 seconds remaining right now. Here's the flash to facilitate. Sensei should be very blind. Yes,
he's just got flashed so many times, but he has actually got back too long before they've seen him, so he can re-peek out. And Shiro now in a 1v4, 7 seconds, hiding, saving, and hoping he can get away with this one, and he should be able to do so. Although he's made a lot of noise, and Sensei now hunting him, trying to drop him, and it will after the time, but a lot of money for the players, so no real qualms about that. But 2 rounds now for Sangal.
They're getting real excited about it, right? And I think the thing here is they understand that they were just getting battered, but anything that they can salvage now, he's looking good, showing off, he's rapping, having a good time.
Yeah, Sangal number 1.
Things should get easier for them from here, right? And maybe Soulfly will be able to make it. I feel that's optimistic of me, but you never know.
Yes, well, you want to try and stay alive as long as possible in contention to get him out here. Sure, very frustrating experience for him not being here and limited opportunities, but Sensei starting to come into his own. Got a bit of personality, got a bit of flair, and now a couple of kills being added to the tally too.
These opening kills from the AWPs have been nice, and let's see if they can continue that, because you mentioned players being strung out quite individually, so maybe, just maybe, they've all found a similar approach here. Middle throw, smoke, front bathrooms, and a jump peek. See what's going on towards that divider position. Nafany with a little bit of hang time there. And regrouping back towards long will be Scrunk on this AWP. Very, very cautious on the clears of the corners. Knows that they could be lying in wait. Tree now clear. Continuing forward to the rock at range. And just picks on out. Grabs another kill. No trade possible here unless he gives one over. The re-peek was brave.
Brave, yes. Flash goes around long. He's going to stay and might even just take out this tight angle. So if they extend around the corner, he is actually in a pretty good position to take them out. So a good start again here for Sangal. You said 4 rounds and a half is available. I tended to not believe that was possible, but now I absolutely am. So Scrunk getting aggressive. Oh, Axel over the flower bed from a 5 versus 3 to a 3v3 in the blink of an eye.
And they're so far away on this rotation. They were battening down the hatches for a monster play. All 3 of them tucked around the pillar and deep within the monster canal, but they're rotating back for the retake.
And Axel playing close towards Bank. If they come back up into his crosshair, Axel, you've got to favor him in the position to beat out the AWP. Sensei's barrel, the timing. Oh, it works out. Axel's going away. Just focus and stairway. That gives a chance. But Shiro, the clutch king. Can he pull it off this time? This shot from Shiro. QB brings him down. And a little bit of life now for Sangal.
Yeah, well, this is looking likely now to be at least the 4 consecutive required. The diffuser's going to come in, the double AWP's retained, and if they can keep finding these openings with the AWPs, they look like they're having fun. Now they're starting to believe that they can go toe-to-toe, take a couple of fights, because in the early stages of this, in that 11-round spread, they were just getting destroyed. It didn't look close at all. There wasn't anything to get excited about, but now they're at least giving us some hope, giving us something to believe in.
11-3. Yeah, so I'm glad. I was hoping that we would see something out of Sangal. Now, you don't want to come into your opening match on LAN and just get 16-0. That's never the goal. So, good to see Sensei getting some confidence. He seems to have a good personality about him, and hopefully we can see a bit more of that throughout this competition. 4th round and a pistol in the 2nd. Maybe you've got something going here for a respectable enough scoreline out of Sangal. But as you mentioned earlier, Chad, you take 11 T rounds here for players. You're still just in a perfect position to close out the game, but it's just a bit of competition, hopefully, throughout some of these patchy rounds.
Yeah, and I think here, for Sangal, it's about warming into maybe some of their later matches in this. For players, it's about making sure that you're on point so they can get the 3-0 done. Now that you've seen G2 fall, you know that there's going to be potentially some easier matches as this one of aggressors stepping on out, trade after trade, and multiple bodies hit the deck right there. Shiro and Nafany lighting up the scoreboard. Corey, though, with the AWP will take down one, and they've stalled this out as the press towards A has been slowed.
Oh, Corey going into the fight versus Inters, not ready for him to be at the flower bed. Doesn't even consider that option because he believed they had fully rotated down perhaps to B. And Scrunk is going forward to get this info.
But Hobbit has the bomb.
Yep.
So he needs to get past this. If Hobbit goes down, the bomb is going to be in connector. Not a difficult position to hold by any means.
Going into them. Oh, separates it into the 1v1. That's a good kill on Chugux, and look how quick the decision is for Hobbit to get out of there. The last remaining player is Scrunk. He's coming up the connector quickly, turning. Hobbit still finds it. 12-3 half for players.
Yeah, just going through the paces here. Dry running live on everybody's screens. 4 rounds required. The pistol, the conversions, it'll be done and dusted. But I think that, as you mentioned, Sangal are happy just not to get 16-0'd in this entire environment.
They actually look so happy right now. They just look like they're soaking up the experience.
I think you have to be realistic when you have your coach standing in as well, and you know that this is the big territory. Like you may as well try and keep the mood up, right? Because if you're gonna think that you're gonna think with the coach standing in that you were gonna take it to players. You maybe you want to have that winning attitude, but you may be not being considerate of the situation, right? So it's just something to consider in that regard.
We did see some teams expressing frustration against getting battered by some of the best teams in the world. So yeah, it's a nice approach here.
And then Eternal Fire made it. So you know, maybe just maybe. But smoke's being lined up over towards B. It looks like a heaven one here from Sensei. They got a molly for barrels. That team flash is into the face of Inter, so they are coming.
They are barreling forward. Perhaps they can get the pick, but no way. This is an awkward pistol. Disgusting. In fact, Inters and Hobbit all go down. It's so clean for Sangal. Everybody goes the way of Sangal. And Axel coming in from heaven. Sangal found the pistol. Another round added to the tally. Axel with 1. How many can he get here? That is the question. There's a player down below him. And he's worried about that flank now too. See, Axel's not winning this round, but just trying to do as much as he can on the way out.
Yeah, see if he can hold on to this armor. Now, he did take some damage, right? The armor's been chipped down to 93, so he won't get the cheap upgrade into the head armor. But at least he'll be able to force buy around this if that's what the call is so desired. Corey wants a 4th in the round. He's going to run to his demise. And Tugux here coming on in to feed another $300 in the way of Axel.
Thank you very much. 18-9 now for Axel.
And that does a lot because right now he can buy an M4. If Axel has the silenced M4 and he can buy an M4 and already has Kevlar. So probably should be considering a force buy here, players. Get a scout into the hands of Shiro. That's definitely affordable for him. Shiro's just, sorry, Nafany's just disconnected from the server. We'll get him back in a minute. Just a bit of a technical timeout. Now, if you want to check in on what's going on the secondary stream, you can head over to YouTube, type in PGL, find the live broadcast. You can watch it in 4K. But twitch.tv/PGL_CSGO if you want to see what's going on between Astralis and ASG. That scoreline is currently 8-3 on Ancient. I think he's being told shh because
it's a technical pause.
During the text, you're not allowed. And
it's got the rock paper scissors.
Or the scissors paper rock.
And he's staring at me. I'm winning this staring contest actually. He's got the forest vibe going on here, hasn't he?
He's doing the rock's eyebrow.
Yeah.
The people's eyebrow. Can you smell what the rock is cooking?
I'd love the Rock to intro the major final teams or something. I watched that at the Super Bowl, dude. He's so good at it.
I don't know if we got enough money.
I think he probably would charge more than the prize pool.
Yeah, we might need someone a bit closer to Counter-Strike, a Counter-Strike fan.
We got Moses. He's bald and he's American. We could get him to do it.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Jason's not the Rock. Maybe who else could we get? Who's a Counter-Strike fan? Who's I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm having a hard time. I think the Brazilians might be able to get Neymar, but I don't think.
I don't think you're bringing.
Is the football season on at the moment?
Yeah, it's always on, Chad. It's always a football match on, isn't there? So, I think in the summers when they're off. But, I mean, we could probably get someone cool. I think there's a couple of players now. I think Casemiro had a team when we were in this America's RMR too. So, a couple of big stars coming in. Who's the most famous person you've ever met, Chad?
Back when I was in the Championship Gaming Series in 2008, the season kickoff was a bit of a party with C-grade Disney celebrities.
Wow.
And Kim Kardashian was there before she got famous.
Wow, okay. That's cool.
So, Kimmy K.
How was that?
She was playing Forza on stage.
That's just so mental.
It was, yeah, direct TV. I don't even know if the VOD still exists, but you guys
so
want a piece
mental.
of history? That's part of it. Now, Axel has gotten into this silenced M4. They have 4 Sport. Shiro hasn't gone for the Scout, though. Well, let's see what he can do with the $700 hand cannon.
Well, Axel just doing fine. Oh, dead. Corey just decapitates him, shreds a hole right through his face, and Axel out of the round. Players down to 4 players already.
And a nice little upgrade available here. So if Tugux wants to come back over, he can grab himself an M4. Scrunk's going to scoop that one up. Going to make sure it is out of the remit right now of players to scoop back up. And Tugux is happy to hear he's in the connector, wants to clear this one out with the Mackie 10. Just make sure that these close angles he can deal with and maybe find himself a little bit of extra cash money. But at this juncture, it looks like players are gamble stacking B. So if the hit does come in towards A, it might just be the save and have a double dip of this in the next round. They are donating the rifles over the wall right there. So you saw them just lobbing that away so it cannot be found whatsoever. And the B stack, well, that's been called off. Over towards A they go. Now, there is one way that this goes wrong. Inters has a flash. If Inters is able to throw this at the perfect moment, these pesky pistols can get stuck in.
You never want to see a round end like this for Sangolf. It gets chaotic and crazy for players to take them down with pistols. They're going to start walking their way up towards the site.
Hubbard's got a flash as well here, but I don't think they're going to use the flashes.
It feels like they're just going to sit back on the side, let Hobbit try and draw the attention. Now they move forward beyond the smokes and get in the mids. This could be chaotic. 10 seconds left. Sangol go into the pistols. Hobbit has taken 1 and 2, knocking them down. Finally, the kills come in, and the plant will come through for Sangol. It is still Shiro alive and kicking in the back. But with a Deeg in hand, no kit on his back, Shiro will get taken out. And a 5th round for Sangol. Definitely was a chance there for the players. But a 5th round for Sangol, they really getting to a point where they can make this scoreline look a bit more respectable on paper. We'll see if players resist in this round. There isn't going to be too much available because they force bought into the last, so should be 6 rounds for Sangol.
Yeah, very much so. I'm surprised there wasn't like a flash and go setup there that was provided. I think they were expecting a walk in. It just took so long before that util came over the wall. They did keep it very, very late, did Sangol. There was a lot of room for error in a round like that, but I think for players, maybe they were considering as they're sitting there waiting, maybe it will be B. You know, where's this hit? Is it coming? And well, it did eventually, as we got a bit of a tank set up here. P250 in the hands of Inters, seeing how much they can do. And Axel immediately takes down Scrunk, but think about how much info Scrunk just got. That's going to send the rest of the team a high tailing it in towards the B bomb site. The bomb will get planted, the 40 seconds will get thrust onto the clock, and now it's just about how much more can these pistols do in the damage department, because the round, very, very difficult to win. I would say almost impossible for players to pick this one up, even with a number advantage.
This is one you just throw into the wind. Watch it blow away. Sensei. The 8K is good. And Sangol will take 6 rounds. And it could, the punishment beating could continue as we get into the next round. That is the one thing I worry about, is if that just immediately happens. These players are now going to get some weapons on the ground, actually. Might get away with that AK too. Well, I'll happily take that on the way out the round. And Axel does fall, but chiro gets the AK over, so that's good. That's on the CT side for the side of players. And now 4 away from victory, so we'll see if this buy round can net them that.
I think here, if I was players, I wouldn't mind taking a timeout, or if I was Groove, I wouldn't mind calling the timeout here, just to say, like, listen, boys, like, we started so strong, let's just close this now, let's be done with this silly business, right? Because the fact that they were able to get themselves so many rounds within that first half, before it gets out of control like you're talking about, it would be a good time to have that chat. Maybe in the next gun round if they don't convert this one. It's still pretty early days. They're on the easier side of the two. Nade rains on through. Is going to chunk Sensei down to 33 points of health. So he's taken so much flak damage there. Fortunately on the AWP. So not really going to be the end of the world in that regard. But a stray bullet from the M4. Good to see him done and dusted. Scrunk swings the door open. QB will actually get the kill onto Hobbit now, and a number advantage again for Sangol.
Players coming to a bit of a halt here. Hobbit is 13 and 11, so it's been pretty equal trading for him, and Nade goes down onto Scrunk. The nade damage has been great here for players in this round. They're close to a kill, but haven't got it just yet. But looks like Sangol getting ready to go into B. Resmoke to Monsters just come in here for players. Inter's plays in front of it. 55 seconds left on the timer. Oh, they're actually rotating away from B.
Yeah, Axel can re-smoke Monster. If he gets that down now, it is going to be well timed here. They're starting to creep through. They might go. Yes,
no,
they will.
They're going. Okay, Inter's pressure's on you to hold this. Flash is going to be set up for Axel, but let's keep eyes on Inter's right here. We got to see how he holds this one. Giro's come in to help him out, but Inter's plays from position at Water Pit. They push in towards his crosshair. It's a single kill for Inter's. Nafany getting the drop done, but it's taking some time, and so that rotate from players has been able to come through. And Nafany here's the tap. The bomb hasn't gone down, but he swings wide, and QB takes him out. Shiro from heaven, good pick, now drops down. Axel just rattling some shots, looking to do some chip damage, but Shiro caught by the AWP on the other side of things. Scrunk and Sensei were the players that took initial damage. The shadow allows Axel to start to pre-fire, and he's dropped down into the site.
It's Kit in front of him, I think.
Skrunk's moved forward, he's taken away position, his head's come down. Axel won't see him, and another round for Sangol taken in the gun rounds.
That's probably the best round they've won so far. That's a massive round to win right there. They had to trade. I was highly contested on the site. It was well handled there for that final frag. Beautiful stuff. Actually, very good round, all things considered. They get the opening kill and they don't falter. So starting to look like they have an opportunity in this now, as players will be, taking a bit of a risk. Shiro into an AWP. The rest are just going to go for some pistol upgrades. Might be starting to get a little bit worried now over there on players. I know it's still a 5-round game, but still, this is Sangol starting to heat into things. What should have been a walk in the park, what was a walk in the park, and well, what is a kill in the park right now? Shiro's kicked things off. He's staying tall, standing tall with the AWP. The second shot doesn't land. More pressure on his plate. They're coming.
He was holding to see if they would quickly charge after him, but they have sort of slowed that play. And Shiro, gets around. They spotted him. He's going to jump. He's still going to fight this. You're wild, Shiro. He realizes he has to make the AWP sing, and so is singing a beautiful song. A song of death.
Okay, well, this is where we've seen Sungal struggle. This is more of how it went in the first half, right? When they were just picked apart, they would lose multiple kills, and then it was harder for them to get into the action of the game, and now they have to sit on their haunches in a 3-on-5. Now, fortunately for them, it is pistols, but unfortunately for them, Axel's pushing through connector. He's calling this one clear. Still just Shiro on the site right now, but the indecision of... Oh, okay. Maybe not just on the site right now. They've completely foregone any of the action on A. If Axel goes to clear B, he's going to waste a lot of time during all of this. There's an AK for him to scoop on up. Nafany calling it clear, and QB is actually playing a very passive angle here, so I don't think Axel would clear this. He might see the barrel if he's... Oh, the timing. The timing for Axel. He didn't see him. He didn't see him on the flick pass. Neither of them. Oh, the leg's been spotted now, and this should be another frag. Axel taking his time, getting all the information, and executes. 2 players into the site, sure, but now they have to defend against 4.
Oh, wallbang from Scrunk has landed onto Shiro. Scrunk gets aggressive, needed that kill, and oh, will get it. The flick up, but Scrunk in the clutch. 10 seconds, interest closes, and 13 rounds for players. Starts well off the back of Shiro's 2 picks, and I love the repeat. I love when he goes long and just shoots through the stone. Oh, that's what you got when you got Shiro on the team, and you realize players have that capability.
Yeah, and not just turtling up in a 4-on-5 number advantage, wanting to make it a little bit more with Shiro, and understandably so. It was the weapon, it was the hero in the round, and yeah, that hero in purchase has paid off in a big way. They do get their first CT-sided round on the board right now, and it also has economical ramifications. AWP for Sensei, pistols for 3, and QB into a Galil. Now they need this one back here if they want to try and continue this score line. Skrunk's quick. Skrunk's down.
Once again, Sangal giving a difficult start in this round. Sensei, oh, I thought he was about to have the jump there on Shiro, but Shiro's so damn quick, he's able to react in time. And Shiro now goes back into the middle. Easy pickings here. Sangal 1 by 1, not together. Shiro happily collecting them each in tow. QB and Chugux. And they're going to surely meet the same fate. Shiro just changed his position time and time again. X-ray off to give us the vision of Shiro. And Chugux gets chewed up and spat out. Axel sees the bomb, realizes QB can't go far, tracks him into the corner, executes him. 14 rounds for players, 208 from victory in their opening best of 1 here in Bucharest.
Blame's having a field day over there on Ancient right now. In that first half, I think he had 23 kills in total. He just absolutely gone bonkers over there. It's a 12-4 scoreline right now for Astralis versus ASG. And if you're wondering what's coming next on the main card, it is going to be Copenhagen Flames taking on Sprout. And last time at the Major, that's where Copenhagen Flames really made a name for themselves. See if they can pick up where they left off, going toe-to-toe against Sprout, who also have a stand-in of their coach, Barry, who will be hitting the server later today.